Welcome back. The Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises, Ipumbu Shiimi, launched the Code of Good Practice following the gazetting of the Code of Good Practice 2023. Amongst other things, the code aims to grant exclusive preferences to the categories of local suppliers through reservation of certain procurement of goods, works and services. To give more detail on the launch of the Code of Good Practice is Mr. Phineas Nsundano, the Director of Legal Support and Compliance in the Procurement Policy Unit in the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprise. Sir, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nina. Good evening to the viewers. Yes.
Just in a nutshell, perhaps, talk to us about what is the Code of Good Practice preferences and also why it's so important.
The Code of Good Practice are a vehicle and a framework through which the government is trying to strengthen and promote the industrialization policies of government and empowerment. So it is derived from the provision of the Public Procurement Act, Act number 15 of 2015, as amended thereto. Yes.
And what necessitated the ministry, to launch the Code of Good Practice preferences?
In line with the provision of Section 69 of the Public Procurement, it's a requirement of the law that the minister launch or set up the Code of Good Practice in setting out preferences to the public procurement provisions. Yes.
Mr. Nsundano, talk to us about, the role that local suppliers would have to play in this code.
The role which the local supplier will have to play is in order for them to have a benefit into the government's procurement system. Their role is to set up themselves into enterprises and to be able to compete and upgrade their business and skills in terms of having been accorded preference in procurement. So it's their role to ensure that, number one, they supply and provide services to government which are of good quality and a value for money, and also to upgrade themselves from small or from medium enterprises to at least into a bigger economy. So that is the main role in terms of the local suppliers.
Outline for us how, this code is beneficial to local suppliers and also to the financial sector.
It is of beneficial in the sense that these local suppliers are given a margin of preference, and such margin of preference allows them to participate into government bids, which we previously called tenders. This allows them to have an income, and at the same time, the government is trying to promote local manufacturing and the growth of the SME industry. So through that way, that's how our economy will be able to grow and also to speak to the industrialization policies of government.
And what are the consequences of not abiding to this Code of Good Practices?
The Code of Good Practice is set in such a manner that there are requirements. Those requirements by public entities have to be met. As I have said, is that it's not a vehicle through which one can enrich himself or through which one can give favoritism. It's a legal mechanism set up in order to promote industrialization policies of government. So there are rules and regulations as set out and outlined in the Code of Good Practice, to which both the public entity and the bidders, be the local suppliers, have to abide to. Yes.
Just as we round off our discussion, Mr. Nsundano, perhaps you can give us final remarks and also to the individuals watching, if they'd like more information, who can they contact?
Yes. In relation to the Code of Good Practice, one can get access to it through the Ministry of Justice, Government Gazette. The codes are available there. We have, as well, from the Procurement Policy Unit, have set the Code of Good Practice on our website, which can be accessed. Furthermore, people or the bidders can contact our office for the further details in terms of this code of good practice, we will be able to assist and to disseminate that information to them.
Thank you so much for being here this evening, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the viewers.
Well, there you have it. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's time for our health interview with the White Ribbon Campaign.